Welcome to the good, the bad, and the sequel with your hosts, Doug and Jamie.
We are back, and this is a movie podcast where we're talking sequels, and we do it in two parts. The first, an interview with an actor, someone involved that made the film worth watching, and the second, a discussion of the sequel, what they got right, what they got wrong, and how it could have been better. I really hope you enjoyed last episode's interview with casting director Glenn Daniels. I fought him so hard to get that interview, and listening back, it was only 44 minutes, but man, it was like the best 44 minutes. The fact that he discovered all those amazing people like Woody Harrelson, Terry Hatcher. If you haven't listened, make sure after this you go back and check it out. But before I dive into this kids, it could be a kid movie by the title. If you didn't see and know what it was about, you might pick it up and be like, hey, this might be for kids, but it's not. And here is my partner in this sequel watching journey, Jamie Riccardi. Jamie, how you doing, man?
I wish I can get my hour and a half back from watching it. You said it might be for kids. It might not. I don't think it's for adults either. I mean, I have to be honest. This movie's horrible. I
brought a juice box and I thought it was a kid's movie.
This movie, I'm not a Chucky. Before we get into it, I'm not really a Chucky fan. I'm not either. Okay. So I only saw the original one and the new one that just came out like a couple of years ago when they made him like an AI. He wasn't even a puppet anymore.
Oh, the one with Mark Hamill was the voice of that one.
Yes. Yeah. So this is really my I guess the third visit of it. After I watched the movie, I looked up the rankings of all the Chuckies, multiple sites, and there's like 8 movies. There's like 8 Chucky movies.
It's crazy.
Multiple sites. This is the worst one of all of them. Multiple sites. So.
Which is kind of sad. Like, it might be true, but there's one that I watched that is like horrendous, like in a mental hospital all the time. Yeah, I don't know. But so we couldn't tackle this. Like Chucky, you got to think, you said 8 films.
Yeah.
That is like, that's up there with all the other people. That's more than Freddy, which is sad.
It could be 7 films. It's definitely 2 films too many.
Oh, wait, no, Freddy's 8 too, I think, if you count Freddy vs. Jason.
New Nightmare also.
Yeah, New Nightmare, so that makes it 7.
Okay.
And then 8 Freddy. So, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, and then you have a crappy Freddy they did. Ugh.
Yeah.
Let's not even talk about that one. But we had to bring a guest in for this historic slasher. This is like if there was maybe not on the Mount Rushmore, but maybe off to the side. So we have to intro. We needed help. So we brought in Tom Kiczula. He's talked Teleporting Jason. And he's talked John Voight wanting to put kids in concentration camps. Let's not forget that. Tom, how you doing, man?
What a good time we had with those. Oh, I'm fantastic. I've actually had my whole life with Chucky. Like you said, people do confuse this as a kid's movie, and I did. When I was about 5 years old, I watched, this was the original Chucky Child's Play 1, and I watched the whole thing. And I was so like... my brain just broke because I saw kids with toys playing, and then all of a sudden dolls were killing people. And I had nightmares for years about Chucky. And the scariest part was that no one would believe me. And I think that's what makes Chucky kind of scary and separates him from some of the other murderers. Is you have kids, telling their parents, oh, my doll's talking to me. He wants to hurt me. And parents are like, no, that's impossible. But
horrible adults. It goes back to it every time, Jamie. Adults are horrible in all this.
Every single movie. They're the worst. I mean, again, look at this movie alone. This is the third movie of the franchise, and they still don't believe that this doll is killing people, even though it's the third time they're going through this. So all adults.
It's been in newspapers, it's been on TV that this has happened, and still people don't believe the kids saying this doll is real. It's attacking us.
In most movies, adults don't believe the kids anyway.
About anything.
Or they try to kill the kids by giving them sleeping pills and like put them in or move to a town where there's a guy that goes to kids' dreams and kills them.
Well, I wonder now. I know this is. I'm assuming this is based on the doll, my buddy, like back in the day.
Yeah.
Right. So I think My Buddy came out like maybe 2 or 3 years before the first Chucky. I wonder how bad the sale. Like, how pissed is that company? I'm assuming that company that the doll didn't last once this movie came out or once the series came out, because obviously it's probably going to deter people away from getting the doll. So I wonder like how it impacted that company.
I'm sure it crushed it.
Your clientele just changed is all. You know, it was for kids. Now adults are probably buying it instead.
I don't know if adults are buying dolls. That they have other issues.
All right, so let's talk about this. Child's Play 3 or Chucky joins the army, whatever you want to call it. If you're watching this on video, Chucky wants you, the movie poster, just like Uncle Sam. And oh man,
wait, is this the same kid that's in all three movies?
No, this is a different kid.
Okay.
Well, it's the same kid, just different.
Well, no, just a different actor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's Andy Barclay.
Andy Barclay.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's the same Chucky in all three movies.
Yep.
Yes.
Brad Dourif.
Yes. Okay. So I mean, again, I'm not a big fan of these movies. I could never get into a doll killing people. But I did like how it kind of started. Again, before the credits.
Like that.
Yes, because I never saw the second one, so I didn't know how it ended. I'm assuming based on how they showed the melted doll, that was involved. But it was pretty cool how it started before the credits, and then how it continued during the credits.
Yeah, you got something before the credits. But you know what's cool? I think this is the first movie that we've done, unless I just didn't notice it. This is like the first Universal. I can't believe Universal did these movies. That old logo, it's just like it's very nostalgic.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. So the concept is that the doll is possessed by a serial killer, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Charles Lee, right?
Is the blood, the blood is the possession part?
Yeah, no. So this is where this is going to go off the rails real quick. Who starts the machine in the beginning of the movie? Does somehow Charles Lee Ray, like they should have showed a little hand crawl over or something because everything just started.
And they're starting to make dolls again with that complete mess that's
still there
from the first movie. Like they don't clean up and they're just going start making dolls again.
I'm just gonna reuse all these parts, remelt them.
Yeah. Well, how did he come alive in the second one? Do you know? Like how did he come back as a doll?
I think he just keeps. I think it's kind of like this. The second one, he was in a same thing, like in a factory somehow. I'm telling you, the first one's more of like, you've seen the first one, but the first one's like it's a horror movie, obviously, but then just like a lot of sequels, then they go like Freddy. Right. Second one, he gets like silly and he has like catchphrases and lines.
Well, the first one's a good good concept, it's original, but I again, is it the soul? Like, how does he keep coming back if they keep killing him? Is he, and does so he doesn't have like super strength or anything, right? He just
sometimes it seems like he does.
Yeah, but you got an 8-year-old picking him up and carrying him around. How strong can this little thing be?
Yeah, and where's the blood?
I don't get the blood. Now, has he ever bled before? Because I didn't think so. And then the very beginning, when they're showing like him being melted, there's blood, and I don't think he's ever had blood before. I don't know how the blood got in the doll. It just doesn't make any sense.
Well, what doesn't make sense to it though? At the end, when you see he's all metallic underneath, so there shouldn't be blood. Like if you're gonna make if you have the blood, he should have more, like bone structure,
organs or something. Yeah.
I mean, we are talking about a doll here, But But
no, I like James just before I like action something before the title screen. But when they show just the face and it screams, that was pretty cool. I like that. And then
that was cool.
To me, there were very few cool parts in this movie.
I know. And you know what I was hoping for, getting ready for, like what I should like do. So the only one I could really find is, I wanted to go get a haircut and I didn't even get a haircut. I got my throat. Freddie was there. Chucky was there already.
Well, I got the haircut for you.
Nice. I appreciate that.
So,
I don't know.
But no, so then we go right into like, I was hoping for a couple cool kills, but they're really just like lazy. I don't know. There's one that's so lazy and it's like, it rivals the karate Invisible Freddy, which we'll get to it later. But so now when you talk about the corporate suits, I see Tom is one of the main suit who seems like he shouldn't work in like kids' toys.
Wait a second.
No.
I think none of the adults in this movie should be doing anything that they're doing. From the barber, he should not be cutting hair.
Oh, I know.
I disagree. That's the only job he can do. He's obsessed with cutting hair.
So you think that's like perfect job for him?
Perfect.
What, him walking up to kids and going, Tuesday,
Yeah.
Wednesday.
And wanting to cut a doll's hair? Like,
Oh,
you know,
that was sick.
A little perverted there.
okay. You know, I can see how the hiring process would be. All right.
But those suit people, I mean, what's that opening line? It's like, it doesn't matter if we're selling
Cars, nuclear weapons, or even toys.
or toys, but they sell toys.
Yeah.
That's what they should be focused on.
And I always feel like in movies where people that like sell toys and like, you know, they're kind of weird. Like, I mean, again, the main guy that you're portraying right there, it's like midnight, everybody left, and he's playing golf and drinking.
So what is that? His main office?
I thought that was his house. I didn't realize that was an office.
It's like his lair.
It's either, I mean, he had a desk.
Toys all around.
But yeah, that was the weird part. Like there's scotch, cigars, and then just tons of toys. And he's still wearing his like suit.
If you're drinking scotch and having a cigar, the last thing you're gonna do is play with toys. I would think, you know,
surrounded by toys.
I love the fact that the guy that was like there, he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna leave." Obviously, it's dark. We don't know like what. Oh, I guess I don't know what time of year it is, but that he's like, I have an anniversary dinner. My wife's expecting me, and he like gives him like this snarl, and then he like grabs all these. He's like, I guess I can look over some of these after dinner. And then my favorite part was maybe he's just a good bullshitter or a good like worker bee, because when he goes in the elevator, he opens one up and looks at it like he's doing anything in that 1 second.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, look at that whole meeting with all those, you know, suits. They're talking about, again, this is the third movie in the franchise, and I guess they keep assuming that the same kid is making up all these lies.
Oh, yeah. I know. And these dead bodies that show up, how did they ever determine the cause of death? Like the coroner of all the bodies in the other movies, all accidents.
It doesn't make sense. I mean, it's just so stupid.
It is. No, it's just like, I don't know. It's crazy. So Chucky is in the box. The kid made sure, the guy made sure to bring it up. It was like the first one off the line.
Yeah.
And okay. So before you go any further, so he's in the box. So he clearly is alive. How's he breathing in the box?
Well, does he have lungs?
He has blood.
He has blood.
So
yeah.
So he doesn't have lungs, but he has blood and he can bleed. You know, I mean, so you know.
And he speaks. He looks like he breathes sometimes, right?
You
Yeah.
know, he's the original Toy Story. You know, he plays dead when he has to, and no one knows he's alive, and then he comes right back alive.
That is ridiculous. And when he plays dead, well, we have to get to that when he gets to it. Wouldn't you, I don't know. They could just. But what if you did? If you ripped his head off, would he be dead? I don't know. Would blood squirt out? That's what I understand. Is the blood just contained in these little sections?
How come they never tried that when he was dead? Like even the kid, right? I mean, he's seen him, you know, dead a few times or playing still. You know, he's playing possum.
Yeah.
He's playing hard to get.
Just get an axe, chop him in half. Now he can't move.
I still think, I still think that, like, I don't know how he's a doll. Like, one, you can't outrun him. I mean, why not? Like, he's a doll. His legs are so small.
I know. I was thinking that with the strides of his legs.
Yeah, and strides of his legs. I mean, you have an 8-year-old picking him up, so he's not heavy. Like, why is it so difficult to get rid of this thing?
Yeah. No,
I never got into the Chucky. I just can't, like, it just, I don't know.
The only parts that are kind of cool is like, I think the one part I did like, because obviously we know he's alive. It's not like it's a surprise. But when you see him in the box, and then again, Sullivan says he's going to get work done. When the first thing he does is turn on the news, stocks and bonds, and he goes to make an old fashioned. And as soon as they show him again, he's out of the box. But when we see his little feet,
or see his arm multiple times, just his arm reaching across the screen. You know, the puppeteer were just one arm probably going like this and coming back.
Even that too, like how do his fingers move? Like doll hands are plastic; they're pretty solid. I can see if he grips something like this, but
but
how does he grab things?
Because he fleshes up when he's real. You know,
doesn't make sense.
And he's got small, stubby fingers, so he shouldn't be able to grab anything.
No,
he's holding a Bowie knife that's like bigger than him.
Yeah, and he can pull triggers. It's really impressive.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
So the fact that he's like, again, he's putting, watching TV, and then the TV just goes off.
Oh,
And nowhere in his mind did he say like, "Oh, that's not normal." The remote
Right.
disappears. Like, who's in there?
it must be under the couch.
So how is he able to control two dolls at once, the helicopter and the TV all at once?
That.
And I mean, and now this is the helicopter, that's the remote control helicopter that explodes when he goes through a wall.
Notice though?
That's a prototype.
Oh, okay.
The first toys you do see though there is that army man and a helicopter, and I believe there's a tank too. And it was interesting that they showed those first, maybe to allude to the fact that they were going to
Military.
the military
Oh.
school.
See, that's why you're the horror expert.
I was thinking in my head, I was like, maybe they're just like bashing toys because that came out around this time. Remember that movie? All it was the militarized toys.
Oh yeah.
And Robin Williams. Remember when his dad
toys.
dies?
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And his uncle that takes over is a sergeant he wears a military hat the whole movie.
Yeah. Jeez.
Jesus. But yeah, the fact that, the two dolls talking to each other, and
Where'd they go
again, where did they come from?
But he had the first doll. Well,
They just brought up the first
It could have been the old prototype, the new Chucky. This is the new Chucky he got. I mean, listen, he had every other toy in his room. So, I mean, I'm sure he had some old Chucky dolls, but he was able to control everything all at once, like a matter of seconds. Now, this is, again, how is he able to run around that fast with those little legs and control everything?
I would have loved if it was like, okay, if you're going to look at that account, and then the elevator doors close, and the guy is like doing a bit of Spaceballs. On and out with the toys. Like he's like a real serious like a-hole, but really he's like the stocks comes on and he changes to like cartoons or something. But I did like his kill because I don't know. It's the only thing I do like about Chucky is how he goes 0 to 60 because he's like kind of like casual in his demeanor in a way, and then he just like revs it up like in like a second.
Well, I have again. We're gonna break this down. So the first he throws a dart at him, right?
Yeah, two darts, I believe.
The dart knocked the guy over. It's a dart. It wasn't like a machete. It was a dart. Listen, I've had, in college, someone threw a dart and, lands in your hand or whatever, like it hurts. It's not going to knock you over. It literally, not only did it knock him over, the guy was dragging himself across the room because he got a dart in the back.
And even how much he was groaning before that even happened. Like he can't even walk without I don't know if they was just supposed to heighten how much his back hurts or something, why he couldn't move, but it was just nonstop.
But didn't he fall before this? Wasn't this the golf club and the marbles?
He slipped on the marbles.
He got hit in the head with a golf club. Well,
yeah,
I want to get to the marbles also, but he got hit in the head with a golf club.
Oh yeah.
And then the dart was I think right afterwards. I think he got knocked down harder by the dart than he did by the golf club.
True.
Or how about the marbles? He stepped onto him. His foot was like on an angle. Like he was like, whoever was a stuntman, like was so bad at not selling it because he was more like already like in the upward motion.
All right. So to marbles, you see this a lot in movies all the time. Does that really happen? If someone drops marbles on the floor, are you going to do the banana like peel fall every time? Like, I mean, I've never tested it out. But
as far as I've seen in movies, yes.
In movies. But I mean, you think that really happens? Like I can't
if we have any marble experts or stunt experts or a marble stunt expert.
Or if anyone actually owns marbles today, let us know.
Yeah, at sequels only. Yeah. Check us out.
Yeah.
So then he gets he hits him with the golf club and he says, "Don't fuck with the Chuck." Yeah. And then we talked about the darts, and then the one that remember he's about to grab the phone and the dart like lands right on his wrist, like right in his hand. And then he starts strangling him with the yo-yo.
Yeah.
And if you're watching, Tom has a yo-yo around his neck, and he says, "Nothing like a strangulation to get the circulation going." And I'm like, oh my God. I don't know. I just wish it'd be almost like, because he is a doll. If he killed, the yo-yo one's perfect because he's a doll using a toy.
Yeah.
Maybe if that was his MO.
Well, it is. That was Charles Lee Ray's MO.
What,
he was
yo-yo?
a strangler. He was a strangler.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about like all of his kills being involved with toys, like a yo-yo or so, because he is a toy. I don't know. It'd be funnier if he didn't use a big Bowie knife and he used like jacks.
Jacks is a weapon?
Yeah, makes him like swallow him or something.
You think
That would be
Jax would have the
painful.
same effect as marbles on the floor?
I guess Jax would be more of a Lego effect. You would just go ooh ah. You wouldn't like
Yeah.
slip and
So your
Like
your
break
pain
your
noise,
back.
your pain noise is ooh ah.
ooh ah.
Ooh, ooh,
You sound like Al Pacino.
It's like
Ooh, ah. So Chucky knows how to use a computer system he's never looked at,
yeah.
and not like seconds.
So okay, so why does he need? I was gonna call him Andy. What's his name? Barkley.
Andy Barkley.
Andy
yeah.
Barkley. Andy.
Is that
Just-
a coincidence that Andy
just like-
was in Toy Story?
Toy Story? Yeah, it seems like it has to
What?
Here's our Rip Torn moment.
Pixar stole it.
He did.
Yep.
But why does he need Andy?
be. Specifically?
I mean, I know he realizes he doesn't need Andy once he gets there, but like
Right.
this third movie in, it took him 3 movies to realize he doesn't need one kid.
He
Like,
just needs
yeah.
anyone to be cool with that.
right.
Like to be okay with, playing with them. So why didn't he just find a kid that's younger? Because obviously
That's-
Andy's
This
not
is the
going to
third
fall
movie.
for it.
This is
And
not
it-
like he didn't
yeah.
realize that in the second movie.
If anything, Andy's the worst person for him to go after because he already knows who he
Right.
is.
Right. So
He's not going to.
he's not a good killer.
No.
He-
And
maybe
especially,
he's-
How far away is Andy? Like, we don't know exactly how far away this military camp
Wow.
is. But
Yeah. How did Chucky get
just get. Well, he mailed himself, right?
there? Oh,
how
that's
did he
right.
nail himself?
Right.
I don't know, but that's how he did it.
Yeah. How did he get to the post office?
That's
You know,
what he's doing on the computer, right? He's printing out Amazon labels and
So you're telling me he got in a box himself, wrapped himself up,
wrapped it.
and then left himself beside the door so the UPS could pick him up.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
I would like to have seen that deleted scene, or if that was real, and also him like calling like Microsoft help, trying to figure out the computer, because the fact that he found that so quick, it was so ridiculous.
That he found his location. Like how?
yeah.
Why would they have that anyway? Shouldn't that be
Right.
like hidden information? He's under 18.
Correct. So like, yeah, how would he find out where he is? Because they don't like they should have no access to him. It's not like he's like a
No.
client of theirs. Like how would he? Like why would it be in their system?
unless he was going to try to kill him, the old white guy.
Maybe.
Can't sue us if he's dead.
But even now, like, he's not in his house. He's at military camp.
Yeah.
How do they even know that? How does Chucky know that?
So then so we finally see Andy, and it's a new actor. He's actually in an upcoming sequel we're gonna do. He's in Dorm Days too. And his name's Justin Whalen, and I think personally throughout the whole movie, I think he plays a pretty good Andy. He kind of looks like the original kid.
That's why I
And,
thought he was. I wasn't sure if he was. That's why I
Yeah,
thought
he
was.
looks totally like him.
No, he did a good job. Listen, the acting in this movie by a lot of these other characters were not good. I thought he was pretty good. I think he did. I think for what he had, he was okay. And he wasn't scared of the main guy, whatever.
Oh yeah, yeah. He looked really familiar. I looked at his IMDb. He wasn't in a lot, but I thought I forget his name, Spencer.
Shelton.
Shelton.
Yeah. He looked familiar, like he was a dick in a lot of stuff. I looked up the IMDb. Not a lot.
Well, this came out in the 80s.
91.
Oh, 91. Because I was to say Zabka, he was the kind of the dick of the 80s, so like they didn't need another one.
Oh yeah, they did not need another Zabka. But so there's some big time actors. We'll go through them when we get to them. But Colonel Cochran, dude, Deacon Matthew. If you look at his IMDb, big time character actor.
He looks very. I was trying. I was watching this movie late, so I didn't have a chance to really look at his IMDb. But I know I've seen him in something. Like
he's been in like everything, every big show. He's had like a guest spot, big movies, like low. But this is like one of his top 4 on IMDb because this is like probably his biggest build role because he's really high up on it when you look on the credits.
Yeah.
So then we got. So here it is, the haircutting guy that cut my throat. Do you know who that is?
Botnick.
he looks familiar. Again, a lot of people look familiar, so I know I've seen them.
Okay. Well, I know you've never seen this movie. He was the bad guy in Dirty Harry.
Really?
The guy that Larry Hankin friend of the podcast, he knew him in San Francisco, and he said because he played such a nut job in Dirty Harry, like so over the top, he was so typecast, he couldn't play anything but that role, so he couldn't work. But it kind of fits because he's kind of a nut job in this movie.
He is. I thought at first, he reminded me of Francis from Stripes.
Sort of, yeah.
And that's what I thought it was. And then the more he's talked, I was like, all right, it's not him. But that's what I thought it was at first. But that's why he looked familiar, but I couldn't pick him out.
So he's very, very aggressively cutting hair. He's miming slitting a throat to, again, kids.
With scissors in his hands. I mean, they weren't open, but
he's very obsessive with the hair. I mean, very obsessive.
But here's what's even crazier. How long does it take to ship that package? How long do you think? Because it's obviously a few days in the future, and he's not even there yet. The package arrives the same day.
Yeah.
So why would they know Andy would be there already when he's really not registered there yet?
Well, he was registered. They just didn't. I mean, I'm sure he was ready. He didn't just walk in there and just show up and say, "All right, let me go to military school."
But how would I don't know how the toy place would know he's.
No.
Why is that information that needs maybe for the?
He's able to mail himself and wrap himself in a box. That's the easy part. I mean, that's the hard part. So anything else after that is easy.
So no, the reason I mention this is because on the TV is a good guy commercial.
Yeah.
So whatever days it is, obviously somebody found that dead body, right? Again, that's the only thing with these movies. Did they just assume that guy blew up the toys and threw darts in his own hands and strangled himself with a yoke?
Well, they didn't address that kill at all, right?
No.
They should have, even on the news, like a little.
Of course, right. They didn't address it at all. So it was like it never happened. Really. It was like, honestly, that kill was pointless then.
Sort of, because wouldn't it be like, it would be almost the opposite. Like if they're like, oh, that was a big decision he made, so we're going to wait a few weeks on this whole. Or
they show them covering it up or something like that, and they still selling the doll. That would be a better story. Yeah. But
wouldn't somebody go there and be like, oh man, the doll's missing?
The doll's gone. The guy's dead. Well, we'll just keep selling them.
Yeah.
But so back to the military guy, the barber. He's cutting the hair, but he's watching cartoons because my buddy or my, what is it called? My guy.
My buddy, I think,
My
right?
buddy.
Oh, is it my buddy?
Good guy.
No,
good guy.
Good guy.
Good guy.
Yeah.
Good guy. Is the cartoons on there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of weird?
It's very weird.
He's
very weird. Like it's almost.
And what's the age group of this military school?
Yeah. How old is Tyler? Like
everything. Well, I think most of the people that are military brats, I think, is his dad.
Right.
Is like Air Force pilot or something.
Something like that.
Don't you feel? I felt like Tyler, who's right there.
There he is.
Was acting a lot younger than what he looked. I mean, I know he's probably like a 9 or 10-year-old, but he was acting like a 4 or 5-year-old.
Yeah, he seemed more like maybe 6, maybe.
So
Charles, I don't want to play hide and soul.
But even so, this military school has obviously a huge range of children, but also only 2 girls.
I know.
Only 2 girls. And
one girl.
They're like high school girls.
Yeah, 2 girls, both very attractive. One super. Perry Reeves, dude. Yeah. Ari Gold's wife, old school. God, she's so great in this.
Wait, that was Ari Gold's wife?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. Okay.
The main girl, yeah.
Oh wow, okay.
She's the one who puts the lipstick on Chucky.
Yeah.
Great shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I love her. She's great in this.
And the other girl is super attractive as well. And they all have long hair. Like, I don't understand why Botnick didn't get to them.
And they're the only in that scene when she put in the lipstick, they look like regular high school kids. Like they weren't a military school. Like it was just a weird, look to them. But there's only 2 girls in the whole military school. That seems kind of weird itself.
Yeah, how'd they get in? So then we see the dorky roommate for the first time. We think it could be Chucky peep in the closet. And this kid looks like the normal, perfect, like dork for the movie. Kind of looks like Eugene in Grease. He has that same kind of look.
Did this kid have an IMDb? Because I can't imagine him having too many roles.
I don't know. I could see him playing that same role in like other stuff, maybe.
Completely typecast. I mean, he doesn't have. I mean, yeah.
I'm sure he's probably in Revenge of the Nerds 6.
Actually,
I'm assuming that he probably has asthma too. the guys in the movie that always need asthma because he just, he played that role perfectly.
Yeah.
Like he really has asthma.
Like I feel like he really wasn't acting. I feel like the way he's probably a mama's boy, and he's probably he's playing his role.
He's like, how should I act? Should I? And it's like that's you. No,
I wasn't acting. I was just making a face.
Yeah.
So he was only in 12 things, a couple shorts, couple TV series, couple movies, including Lobster Man from Mars was his first film.
Wow.
Which might have to watch that.
You can only go up from there.
Well, if this is considered up, he needs a
you can only go parallel from there. So then we talk Sheldon. He's obviously the asshole of the movie. And then De Silva, Perry Reeves. And
I love how they have that moment. Automatically, when you see a girl in a movie, the guy just is staring at her. And it's in every romance connection part of a movie.
I felt like she looked older than him.
Yeah.
She felt like she looked like a lot older than
I think
him.
I looked her up. She was 22.
She's 4 years older than him, or 3 or 4 years. I looked her up too.
Yeah.
But in because the kid has a baby face, so I just felt like
true.
He definitely stepped up his game because she seemed way out of his league.
Oh yeah. So then Tyler. So we already talked about Chucky. The package is there, and the Colonel was because Tyler was kind of being a baby, because Ray didn't even say that. He was like, Ty, why are you acting like that? Oh, are you talking back to me?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I'm sorry. And then he's like, bring this package to the new guy, Barkley. And remember the way he drops it down the stairs when they knock it out of his hands? It's slow tumbling.
See, I thought you were gonna hear, oh, ow, oh, that would have been funny. That's
like he was stepping on jacks or something.
Yeah, I'm gonna add that to it. I will post that.
Yeah, he gets kicked around, falls down the stairs. How long did that take, and for what purpose did that serve?
Yeah.
Well, it was just so the kid would know what it is.
So the paper rips,
because it ripped open, and the kid's probably his dad's never around. I know he's fighting for our country.
Well, don't forget, he got excited when he saw the cartoon at the barbershop.
He did
of that. Wow. So that's what he wanted. And you're right, his father's not around, so he's a lonely kid, and now he's got a best friend.
And now he's like, I've always wanted one of these. So he goes into this hidden, I don't know, what was it? The name of the room?
Well, there's an office though there. So it was it was probably in the basement somewhere.
It was right where the guns are. So this kid has access to where the guns and live ammunition is.
Oh, this kid seems to be able to get everywhere.
That is true.
So,
And he's so happy, and he's looking at the box, and Chucky, flies out of the box, and he's like,
and the kid didn't phased whatsoever.
No,
he's having a full conversation with this doll, and I that's why I question this kid. He's having a full conversation with a doll and not seeing phased with it.
But then this is a good Chucky line. He goes, tampering with the mail is a federal. Chucky gets it, but. Yeah, you're right. So there's another thing we'll get to later in the movie that obviously it's a kid. Kids have more of imagination, but they still should be scared. We see someone else get scared. And it's the complete opposite reaction.
You can have an imagination and pretend your doll's talking to you, but if your doll's actually talking to you and you don't realize it, you got issues.
So would you say this right now is the same day Andy arrived, right?
I thought so.
Well, no, because he's already in, Andy's already in the group. He's already in that, being yelled at, the first time that Shelton sees him.
Yeah, that's not the same first day? You don't think it's the first day? Because we see no night.
Yeah, I assumed it was the same day.
So you're telling me, so Andy arrives, goes to his room, and he's already right into the lineup, right away, with a gun?
Oh, yeah, dude. That's the reason I mentioned that is the next scene, he's shooting a gun.
Yeah, so it seems like I can't imagine it being all one day.
And we find out he hasn't even unpacked yet.
That is, you know what? And you're right. It might be the same day. That's a lot for one day.
But wouldn't there be gun training classes before or something? They don't just give you a gun.
Well, considering they didn't have any protective eyewear or nothing protecting the sound, they're not really the most professional there. Let's put it that way.
True.
No.
That is absolutely.
And he's so disappointed that he can't hit the target. It's like, this is the first time you shot a rifle. What do you think's going to happen? Yeah.
Well, his nerdy roommate, he asked him for help, and obviously he wasn't much better. So,
yeah. But then Perry, Smoke Show comes over. I wouldn't be able to fire a gun, next. I definitely fire early.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
Would you like to explain your joke?
That's amazing. Yeah, dude. And then we cut back again to Tyler underneath with the kid, and he's like, "Hey, can we play hide and seek?" And Chucky goes, "Can we play hide this?" So this kid, in his mind, obviously he's talking to it. He thinks the first thing to do with a doll that can talk is just play hide and seek. So maybe this kid, that's all he ever wanted to do. Not even the doll. He wanted something to play hide and seek with because no one wants to.
What kind of issues does this kid have that he's talking to a doll that's actually going to find him when he hides? This is, I feel bad for this kid. He's in the wrong place. He should not be in a military school. He should be in a hospital.
Just like you said, there's 2 girls. It should be like Noah's Ark. If there's 2 girls, there should be 2 8-year-olds.
Yeah.
Because there's no one near his age. Everyone else is like 16 and up, it seems.
Yeah.
Like everybody's all the same.
I know the kid because when they go to the tent later on.
His room. Yeah. Because that kid's like, yeah, he went to go hang out with his friend Charles.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you ask him who's Charles? Because there's no Charles that is at this military school.
Yeah.
That's a bad friend.
Yeah.
There's a lot
Maybe he doesn't like him. But okay, so then Cochran comes in because they're like inspecting the guns for the paintball war, and
games.
He sees Tyler, so Chucky has to stop, and Cochran's like, "Oh no, you took that," and then he takes the doll. Andy's in line getting. Remember, he wasn't even getting. Oh yeah, he was getting yelled at already for not. I don't even know what it was. Maybe Shelton was just pissed at him. Did he do something?
Yeah, boy, he was a new kid, and I think the way he answered him or something like that. But
yeah.
Okay, so he takes the doll. Why does he walk across the entire campus to throw it away?
I don't know.
Literally, like he's dragging the doll by the arm, and he's walking across the campus, throw it away in a dumpster. Like no other garbage. If he wanted to throw away, why?
No, there's no close garbage.
That seemed very excessive.
But Andy was like mesmerized when he saw it. He started walking, and he couldn't stop doing what he was doing, to walk towards it. And then the guy comes over, and again, this is why some of these things are like. So when so the guy comes up about talking about how he should hold his rifle. He goes, "This is my rifle, and this is my gun." And he grabs it and I'm like, I know this isn't a kid's movie, okay, but
and
that was
this is for fun.
Yeah. And I'm like, this is, I don't know, just like that age group doing that joke. It just seemed like, I don't know.
What is that their motto though? Like, I don't know. Was that a real motto they have? Cause I could see that.
Well, that's Full Metal Jacket, right?
No, right. But I mean, is that the model they're standing by? If we're that group, because I mean, they're so sadistic to begin with, those guys.
Yeah.
So I wonder if this is the real model we do.
But they just zoomed in on it too much.
But maybe that's why there's only 2 females there. They couldn't take it anymore.
Yeah.
They can't have fun.
Although she was tougher than all the guys there anyway.
Oh, dude, she was badass.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, we'll get to her later in the movie, but she had a line that was almost like you don't see from that. You never see from the female in a horror movie.
Right.
So it was
well, she was the only one not afraid of Shelton the entire time.
No.
Back to him. When I didn't tell him you're a dick, she called him, or she called him something I think an asshole.
I said you're a dick, sir.
Yeah, right. So she was the only one that was not drembling every time we talked to her.
Drop and give me 25. 25 what, sir?
He seemed kind of afraid of her. He really wasn't pushing her that hard. Because even when he said one arm, she was doing them.
Yeah.
Yeah, although, she was pretty badass.
She was, but I mean, those push-ups were kind of lame.
Who cares?
One armed.
No, I'm just saying,
my push-ups with 2 arms look like not as good as hers.
Well, maybe you should went to military school.
Yeah. You should have went to, I forget the name of it.
Is that how military school is though?
I hope not.
I never thought is there really military school out there for young ages like that?
Well, it's a fear in Bogus Journey when they say like, hey, you're going to have to go to military school. And it seems like people are always at you TV show, like another trope.
Well,
Yeah.
I can't lie. I have threatened my son when he was younger that I'm going to send him to military school because Scarface was the leader. And I would find like the ugliest, like creepiest man and say, this is the, you keep acting up. This is where you're going to go, you know? So in fact, one day I drove by a bank and I saw a woman like dragging a crying kid in there. I said, see, that's military school. and my son was freaking out. Like so yeah, I wasn't a good parent.
Parenting 101. Follow him on Twitter at Ricardi17. Find out more tips to scar your kids for life.
Yes, I'm a parenting expert.
So poor garbage truck guy, just doing his job, picking up the trash, and the way again. So if I was a garbage truck, my dad was a garbage. So I think I could speak on this subject. He was a garbage man. So when he dumps it in there and he hears like the screaming, would the first thing be like, all right, just stop this thing and maybe get help? Because like right away, like it's not like the person in there is going to die in a second, right? Or
well, when you also take the keys out, or like so the garbage truck can't like if you're stopping it, you're not going to leave the key. I don't know. I would think of safety purposes, take it out. But my other question is, I mean, I've never been on a garbage truck, but they're pretty high up. It's probably unless you're used to it, probably not easy right away to climb it.
Yeah.
How does a doll that's 2.5 feet tall able to get up there
that fast?
Right, that fast. And how is he able to even if he's sitting in a chair? How is he able to reach any of the?
Yeah, I don't know how he operated that truck at all,
or know how to do it. I'm sure the average person can't figure. You know, like wouldn't be able to do it right away. You know, after a few tries,
not
a
quickly.
few buttons, pull a few levers, and then you figure it out. Chuck it right away.
So wouldn't they have like a fail safe in there just in case a garbage guy, like some kind of button to stop it or something? Because his face, he was like, I don't know, that'd be smart, I guess. It was almost like, it reminded me of the Star Wars trash compactor scene. Yes. Because as soon as it started, he was like,
is that how garbage, like, is there like a spinning spike thing in there?
I don't think so. I don't think so at all.
So it's like a wall, right? Isn't it like that crushes it, I guess?
Yeah, it compacts it each time and makes it smaller. I don't know what that would do. It would just put holes in stuff.
Yeah, it would just mix it up. It's like a tossed salad in there. That's all it looks like. That's what it would do. It's like crushing it, you know. So yeah.
And why couldn't he get out? Like he wasn't that close to it. He had time,
and he didn't have a lot of urgency. Like he was moving, he was panicked, but he was moving very slow.
Maybe he was having a rough day. He was already like contemplating killing himself. Like a day before, he was like, "This is a hell of a blessing. My wife will get the insurance policy." Questions asked, but no. But that whole scene again. This was a time too that again, this isn't child's play. I wish all the kills had to have a theme like that. But with this one, kind of blew it with the kill. I don't know if they had something more gruesome and it got cut. But kind of lame, just his arm, and then when they show it, just blood on the side of the garbage truck. That was weak.
Yeah, no, it's again. I think that we didn't go over budgets yet, but I mean, when you only see Chucky's arm going across the screen, all I picture was one guy holding a fake arm back like this, so it just the whole movie.
So this was the first movie they used computer animation for Chucky, but it was mostly just for his mouth, to make sure that the words lined up correctly.
Oh, really?
Oh,
that's really all they did.
I didn't even. Yeah. So that's CGI, I guess.
Yeah.
And so the first movie and second movie didn't have that. It was a puppet.
It's probably all real practical. Yeah, Ed Gale, who played Howard the Duck, he was in the first and second one, I believe.
So did he look much different? Because I thought this is what he looked like in the other movies too. I didn't think
he looks pretty much the same. He just moves a little bit more easier in this movie than the other ones. But mostly his mouth. It's like mostly what they used it for.
Puppet technology, man. Boom.
Well, there goes the budget. That's probably all the budget went to that.
Thank you. Yes. It was not like Munchie. It was the opposite of the Munchie budget. But,
I got news to you. Munchie was a better movie than this. Okay, so
really,
I hated this movie so much. So yes, I think Munchie.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, right. Man.
I won't say Son of the Mask was better, but I'll say
Okay.
Munchie was better. All right.
So then Tom kind of mentioned this before. The next part is when what was the buddy's name again?
Whitehurst.
Whitehurst is shining Shelton's shoes. And then Andy's like, why would you do that? He spits in it. And this is where Tom mentioned before that he's like, hey, you got to take your put your clothes away because they're going to come around and check. That's why I only think it's like a day, because they would do a check probably every other day, like military.
So they just had, so they did a lot for the first day and they just had a death. They're going to still like pretend like it didn't happen and continue like nothing.
Yeah.
It's just another accident.
Even though the garbage truck guy died, we should mourn him, but we're still going to make sure all your floors are clean.
Yeah. I mean, it just seemed like, but even throughout the movie, when they find out other deaths, they still, keep going on like nothing.
So this part in the movie, well, like many, does not make sense to me because Chucky's in the suitcase. We see him there. You see him like his POV looking through. Andy's opens it. He's not there. Then he's underneath with a knife. Okay. Did you think when it happened, it reminded me of Pet Sematary? I thought he slit his Achilles.
100%.
Yeah.
I was waiting for that to happen, and
he kind of did, but
no,
he didn't. He wouldn't be walking.
I know, but that's what he did.
I know. That made no sense.
There was no blood. Like it was nothing.
No, absolutely not. And he could just walk. I mean, it hurt, but he was fine.
Yeah, I mean, it just didn't. I don't know what that part was for. Like, just to show that he was there. Like, he should have cut him at least. That's why. Like, again, I'm not really afraid of Chucky. I mean, like, if he has a knife and he can't even slice the kid's Achilles, that he's not even paying attention, he stinks.
Yeah, he can throw a dart and land it in a guy's hand when he's picking up the phone to call 911. But within striking distance, because that's what he wants to do. Slice the Achilles and then he could take his soul.
Yeah, but he also got knocked over by a shoe.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, so and Andy was pounding on him with a shoe.
I know.
Yeah.
So like, how tough is Chucky really? Unless he does a sneak attack, he's not really that threatening.
That is true. He's just sneaky. Every other like main killer can Leprechaun has magical powers, so he actually. But other than that, dude,
that's why I questioned, did he have like super strength like Jason or anything? Because like he does get knocked down pretty easy.
No, I know.
But does he feel pain? He's a doll.
Well, he
has blood.
Yeah, and every time he gets stabbed or his arm gets blown off, he screams. So I think he does feel it.
It's very confusing, and that is why on another podcast we debated. I think this is the most embarrassing kill. If you get to the pearly gates and they're like, "Oh my god, how'd you die?" It's like, "Oh, this doll stabbed me." They're like, "A doll? How did the doll catch you?" Unless you were sleeping. The only kill Chucky should have if somebody's sleeping. Because other than that, you should even sleeping, you might snore and move your hand and knock them over.
Even with a yo-yo around your neck, you can't just go like this and just chuck them. An 8-year-old's picking them up. I mean, so yeah. I mean, this is embarrassing.
I don't know. He's got a dart in his back. He's hurt real bad.
Yeah, that's true.
So then Shelton walks in when Andy's pummeling him, and Chucky just goes limp. He just lays there, and then Shelton takes him to who, right?
You might, if you haven't seen this movie before, if you say Chucky went limp, people might think something else.
Oh.
So, I mean, you got to explain,
Before
that'd be like the Child's Play adult. I don't know how they do that.
Do you think he has a penis?
Well,
like, you think he's like angry? Like, he could be angry about that.
He does make a baby.
He does?
Oh, yeah. In Bride of Chucky and Seed of Chucky.
How?
With Jennifer Tilly's doll.
I'm assuming this doll does not have a penis. So how does?
I did watch them make love.
They show it in the movie.
It's just like two dolls.
That one.
Yeah, he has blood, so if he has something down there, he can get it.
All right, I don't think
Seed of Chucky.
Wait, why would they give why would a company that the doll is definitely tailored for like Tyler and younger? Why would they give it a penis?
I don't think that's what they're saying. I don't think he has one.
He made a baby.
Yeah, I would be more. But you saw the movie?
Yeah.
So then, how did he have a baby?
They had sex in the movie, and then there was a baby.
But we're assuming neither doll has genitalia. So
Wait, did they go to like a doll like doctor?
That wasn't in the movie.
Okay.
They killed some people. They stole an RV, and then they had sex, and then there was a baby at the end of the movie.
okay. I don't know how, but
Yeah. Before Shelton comes in, though, do we have to address that line? Chucky's gonna be a bro.
Oh yeah, dude, that was awesome.
So
I love that.
they've cut that out of any edited Chucky showings because of its racial connotations.
But not on HBO Max.
no,
But not on HBO Max.
Yeah, Max. They had it there. Yeah. That's actually the only line I wrote down.
Chucky's gonna be a bro.
I kind of forgot it, but after he slices, well, he doesn't really cut Andy's Achilles. When he looks at the Playboy, he's like, Andy, you grew up.
Was that Andy's Playboy?
Yeah, that was it. Oh, yeah. Well,
or was it his roommates? Because it was out of the.
Well, maybe he had two suitcases. He's gonna live at this military school. I'm sure he has two suitcases.
So one suitcase carried all his Playboys and one carried his clothes.
Well, dude, I would need 3 suitcases for my Playboys. Or my dad's Playboys that I took.
Especially with that Wi-Fi. I'm sure they don't have Wi-Fi.
Well, there's no Wi-Fi.
Because it's 91.
Wi-Fi.
They're flipping pages to get movement, you know?
Yeah.
Movements.
They have Playboy flip books.
They should have Playboy flip books.
Oh, we're good.
So
I hope I gotta research that.
Yeah. So Andy, so Shelton has Shelton took the doll. Andy breaks into Shelton's room holding the knife that we see earlier that we saw on the table. Chucky.
First of all, that's a lot of it's a pretty big.
So now
thing to do.
That knife was from Shelton's room, though, wasn't it? Don't they take it off the wall, or they show that it was missing? No,
one was missing. One was already missing from the wall.
No, that was on Andy's desk. Andy was using the knife to he was just like doing nothing. He was like maybe doing something in his shoe, like picking his shoe or something. That was
pretty ballsy for him to do after he just got reamed by Shelton, and then he's going to sneak in his room.
Yeah.
You know?
I guess that's what if a doll terrorizes you from the age of 6, I guess you would just do whatever it takes to end it.
Yeah.
I would just be relieved. All right, like that's not my problem anymore. That's Shelton's problem now.
Well, he's not worried about Shelton though, because he knows the Chucky's going for Tyler.
True.
So
that's true.
He's more concerned about Tyler.
At least maybe he'll kill, Shelton in the process.
So go him out of there. So go after the doll after he kills Shelton.
Yeah.
That's how serial killers are made. You realize that.
And then this is where Chucky has the Bowie knife, and he's waiting for Andy, and then he scrams, right? Like right after this.
Who, Chucky?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he's not in the room anymore.
And that's when Andy falls into bed.
Yeah, on top, face to face with him.
I thought Shelton would have been more mad about that. Like, hey, what are you doing in here? Like,
I know.
But he kind of ignored that.
Maybe he was kind of excited.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe he was having a good time. He was just waiting.
Oh, you're here for you're here for my gun?
I'm here for the fun.
Whoa.
Hey now.
Heyo.
And then so after that we jump into hide and seek again.
Well, he leaves a note for Charles. He is already hiding. He's like, he knew he was going to come again.
Charles is still understanding that a doll just left him a note.
Yeah.
Like I feel bad for this guy. I really do. I think
speaking of notes, so the director, did he leave a note for Tyler to tell him to giggle like that? Because there's no way an 8-year-old should be like.
That's what I mean. Like the kid, Tyler acts like a young kid. The whole movie.
Yeah. He kind of has he probably has something wrong. He's kind of scarred.
How does a young kid giggle? Okay.
But you just kept hearing that over and over again. And then he hid in the worst spot, like in the closet, and giggle. He wanted to be caught.
Yeah.
Wait, you think Tyler's gonna be good hide and go seek when he's playing with a doll?
He has no practice playing hide and seek either. He's that kid
that's gonna hide behind the curtains, but his feet are showing.
Ollie ox. How about when Chucky says, Tyler, Ollie oxen free. Now get out of here. Get out of here, you son of a bitch. See, I like that part of Chucky when he is like dollish like his
Right.
demeanor, and then it just like cranks up because he does that later in the movie too. And I just love that part about him.
Well, Tyler throughout the movie kept saying, don't curse.
Yeah.
Not curse.
No, Charles, don't say that. And then we see, so Perry Reeves is back in. Her and her friend was both smoke shows. So they're looking for Andy because Andy's missing, I guess, because he's looking for Tyler and Chucky.
Correct.
And they find Tyler or Chucky. They're like, if you get caught in here. So that was like the Colonel's.
Well, no,
office.
they were looking for Andy's files.
Oh, Andy's files.
Oh, yeah.
So they wanted to see more information about him, but she didn't get to the part with the doll. Like
because De Silva's already into him.
Right.
They're having like girl talk. Like, I wonder where
why are you into him or something like that. So the redhead questioned it, but she went to Andy's files, and then right before she got to the article about the kid,
I like that.
Yeah,
because we saw it as the audience.
Right.
You saw like just like the when she was about to like turn that over. No, that was pretty cool. But is that what you do when you're into somebody? You go, let me check their file.
It's just like
with Google now. You don't think everybody's
That's true.
It's like Facebook stalking. That's the old Facebook stalking. You just
all right. Before we go on a date, I got to check your Instagram, your Twitter, your Facebook. Get your fingerprints.
Social. We need to do a credit check. Bring your Experian credit report to the bistro we're meeting. It's how kooky the world is today.
It is.
But she was right to look at it because if she did see that, maybe she would be like, maybe I'm not gonna be into this.
Yeah,
guy.
but she's a little. I think that would turn her on more. She seems a little psychotic herself.
So you think under her like turn-ons, it's long walks on the beach and into a guy that was tormented by a doll for 6 years? Oh yeah. Well, tell me how he almost killed your mom.
Well, considering the first thing that she did when she saw the doll was put lipstick on it. She has her own issues.
True.
So I mean,
I love that. And his face when he when he started moving.
Oh, look at his face there. He looks like he likes it.
When they left, he was like,
wait, no, didn't he say like, I'll remember that? Or he goes, what did he say? He made a comment about it. Like he was pissed and he said, I'll remember that.
Oh, yeah.
He does say this means war.
So the Colonel comes back in and he's pissed off at everyone and says, get out. And this is the part that I was kind of like alluding to earlier. Like when Tyler sees the doll talk, he's like, this is normal. Right. This guy grabs the doll, drops it into a trash can.
Which goes back to my question before. He had to cross across the whole campus to throw it away the first time. This time he just drops it in the garbage.
And he doesn't, it's not like he fits in that trash can. Like the trash can's full now.
Right. But why didn't he do the first time? Why did he have to carry it so Andy could see it, across the whole campus, yeah.
And you risk, it falling over, whatever's in there spills out. It's just a mess.
True.
Yeah.
But when he like takes a few steps and you hear like pitter patter of little feet, and then he looks back, nothing's there. And then when he sees him, I don't even know what he says. He definitely says a line.
I don't know who, Chucky or the Colonel.
Chucky says a lot. No, I don't think the Colonel talks.
He just starts gasping for air.
Doesn't he say, "You've got to be fucking kidding me"?
Yeah, yes, that's what he said.
Oh yeah.
I think he was, he was looking for the kill, and this was like a free one that just got away.
But his ultimate goal, obviously, he's a serial killer, Charles Lee Ray. But isn't his ultimate goal to have those kills that seem like accidents? Because when there's like ones in the other movies, like the one in the factory, the guy's eyes get like pulled out by the machine that makes the dolls. Like that's not an accident. A guy doesn't get his feet tied up to a thing and that happened. This one is perfect for him because he's still on the low. Guy gets caught in a garbage truck. Still, that can happen on an accident. This can happen on an accident. So right now, nobody should really, besides Andy. I wish Andy didn't see him yet. Because then maybe it'd be better for the movie. Maybe he would hear Tyler say, "Oh, I have a friend named Charles," and then maybe later it picks up. But him knowing it's there the whole time, kind of like, I don't know, didn't make it as good.
Why? So he's trying to get into a human form. Why a child? So he still wants a man's mind inside a child's body.
I guess it's so you have a longer lifespan.
Does he care? I mean, like, so you wait. So you're telling me you'd rather be, you want to be an 8-year-old, and what you know now as an 8-year-old, oh, you'd be king of the school.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I want to go through a lot of that stuff as a grown man.
I would choose somebody who's really, and wouldn't you choose somebody who's in the best shape? Again, in this military camp, nobody in really good shape. Shelton's like kind of dweeby.
Yeah, but you know what though? But I would think though that as psychotic as Shelton is, he would be like, that's the guy I want to get into.
Yeah, and then if he can do that, obviously transfer from a doll to a person.
Right.
If he doesn't like that body anymore, like the movie Fallen, he could choose another body down the road.
Right.
But
so why choose an 8-year-old kid?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, it doesn't make sense. And listen, if maybe because an 8-year-old is more gullible, but if he's able to do all the things he's been doing, he can easily tie someone up and just possess them from right there.
Yeah.
You know, so that I was wondering why it's always a young kid.
He maybe because you said like he wants to be like child's body, man's brain. Because maybe right now he's man's body, child brain,
or doll brain, doll body, or the man's
man brain.
You can take a good look at a T-bone steak by sticking your head up the butcher's ass. So then we get to the part with the hair cutter guy, the barber and
this is weird.
Yeah, I know this whole part because it cuts right into it. Like it's kind of like Jason-esque the way we're introduced to him earlier, but then we see him checking the people's hairs and going Tuesday, Wednesday, and he's like, "How long?"
Why is he obsessed with hair?
Does he get paid extra the more haircuts he get, or does he get?
Well, see, he must not because he can only cut one kid's hair a day. He's like, "You're Tuesday, you're Wednesday." He could do them all. He could do them all on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Well, then why doesn't everybody have a different hair? Like, if there's multiple school, I'm assuming they all like shaved their head. Like Tyler was the only one that had his head shaved.
Yeah.
Everybody else had like
Barkley's hair.
Andy's hair was pretty long.
Way too long.
Yeah.
It was military style, but it was like
but it was long. I mean,
it was a couple inches.
Yeah.
I don't know. Botnick messed up on that one.
Yeah. So
well, even the roommate got his hair cut shorter the second time.
Yeah. And then he nicked him. That was a nice moment.
Yeah, I don't like him the rest of the movie. Doug, you froze for a while.
I know. Keep going.
Okay. So so he's cutting the hair, and how does he? Is Chucky's already there when? So he cuts the roommate's hair. Right.
Yep.
Then
that's when he nicks him. Then he goes to leave, and then Chucky's there.
Oh, and he turns around. Did he leave? Oh, he came back after the barber, right? Like what happened between the roommate? Because I know that's when he sees Chucky and he goes, "Oh, look at his hair. I'm going to cut it." But then the roommate comes back. Why did he come back again?
I think
he forgot something.
Yeah. He must have I don't know if he forgot something or he was going for a scheduled appointment. He was already in that room.
He already had the haircut.
He got his haircut.
Oh, okay.
I think he came back in because he said, "I forgot," and then he got cut off and saw Chucky. But
did he see the actual kill, or he just saw the dead body and the dollar?
It was just dead body.
Dead body.
Saw his throat slit.
But he saw Chucky talk to him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Presto, you're dead.
So what was the point? Like, again, if a doll at a military barbershop just happens to be in a drawer, again, nobody questions that. Again, his first thing, hey, let me cut this doll's hair. That's just.
And this is a military school, so you wouldn't think so a doll would be there. So you'd definitely be surprised. Why is a doll here?
Yeah.
Also, do they do background checks? Because he shouldn't be around kids.
Well, Shelton shouldn't be leading kids either. So like I said, I don't think they do any kind of checks on anything. Yeah.
And he's their prized student.
He is.
He's lieutenant colonel or something. He has some ridiculous role.
He seems like he's been there too long.
Yeah.
He's been there like since the place was built because the Cochran loved him.
Yeah.
And he was like super like beat up about it. But then they were like, oh, he would still want us to have this battle anyway.
Maybe Cochran's his father.
Ooh.
Just saying.
If that was the case, would that make this better than Munchie?
No, it needs a lot more than that. It makes it better than Munchie.
So why did Whitehurst? I understand you see something traumatizing like that, but why didn't he do anything?
He just shuts down completely and like ignores it, and he's like in tears a lot of the time.
I said the same thing. Why didn't he tell anybody there's a dead body there?
It took him way too long.
Was he afraid that they're going to blame him?
Oh, maybe.
Maybe he had some back issues where he killed some guy with I don't know, scissors.
It's possible. I mean, listen, he was picked on the entire movie. So, again, that's how serial killers are made.
Yep.
I guess if it was Shelton that was dead, then maybe he shouldn't say anything because he really hated Shelton. I guess he probably hated the barber. But
so you're saying if it's someone you hate and you see them dead, you shouldn't say anything.
You should not.
Should not.
Rule that I live by. Two rules that I live by.
What's the second rule?
Well, dude, after I eat, don't go into a pool for an hour. You will die.
I thought it was a half hour.
It's an hour.
You can't take chances.
Yeah, dude. Double that, man. So the paintball war, this is like the big deal. I love when the guy got the gun, like the guy that took over for Cochran, and he shoots the door, takes the other one, shoots the door. Then the war is not right after that. But Chucky has enough time to change
every gun. Yeah.
But only on one side, only the red team, right?
But that's smart because he wanted Andy to. I guess Chucky doesn't want everyone to die. It seems like he has to. I don't know, because why wouldn't he do
Tyler
both?
was on Andy's team, right?
Who?
Tyler.
No, Tyler was on
the other team.
He was. Okay,
so maybe that's why.
So the red team, which was Tyler's team, they had the bullets.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they would shoot the other people, but no one, I guess, would shoot Tyler.
See, that's a cool concept. I did like that. I think
Oh.
that was cool. See that but the way it played out was stupid.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, yes, I for Chucky to do something like that, that's creative. Listen, he's going to get some deaths out of it. I thought,
But not many.
No.
And you would think after
one,
the bullet,
right?
I'm sure that the sound and the power of a bullet compared to a paintball is a big difference. So the minute they shot one, they probably should have stopped.
Yeah, it was quicker than I thought. I feel like because I haven't seen this movie in years, I felt like it was like firing back and forth for a while, but it wasn't as long as I remembered.
I would have thought they would have mowed down more people.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. Me too.
Only one got shot, or two.
It was just Preston, right?
Well, she got shot too. Oh, by Chucky.
Chucky shot a doll somehow.
By the way, and that gun was like the gun later on was like a Magnum that the security guard had, but we'll get to that part.
So then again, this is a super intense like paintball game, Revolutionary War like style, camping, and it's not like they're that far away from it. Well, we'll get to this because the fact that they're that close to an amusement park,
which is in the middle of nowhere, like there's absolutely nothing around at all. Yeah, and they're playing military warfare, yet they're sitting around telling ghost stories.
Oh,
like they're at a camp.
Yeah,
urban legends, Perry Reeves, and then not too long after.
Well, I felt like she was about to tell the story of Andy.
Oh, that would have been awesome.
The redhead, because she said there was because wasn't Andy's mom in an asylum or I was reading about the other movie. So she said one at this asylum or something like that. And I thought that she was going to tell the story of Andy, but he walked away and we missed it. So I wondered
that would have been awesome.
Yeah, see, that would have been good. But then it didn't happen. And
then this is where Perry follows him, right? And like talks to him. And then they start kissing real quick. And Chucky's he's peeping. And he says, "Man, I really need to get out of this body." So what's he getting a boner?
I was going to say, once again, why go to an 8-year-old?
That. And is he getting a boner? Like he's feeling something, right?
Yeah, for sure.
We discussed he doesn't have a penis.
He might.
If he's getting a boner, where's he getting a boner?
He might have a penis.
The boner in his heart.
I'm going to question that these dolls are made for kids. He probably does not have one.
Probably.
So,
So then Barkley is set. Like right now, he's like, I got to find Tyler. He's going to be after him. And so he steals like the map. So why would Shelton have the map? Obviously, he would have a map for this, but he would have a map of exactly where the other guys are. Doesn't that like really ruin the point of camping and hiding from
each other? It does. Yeah. And Shelton's not a good leader because, I mean, how did he get his map stolen?
Yeah.
Barkley's able to sneak in his room without Shelton knowing it. So yeah, I mean, he's not a good leader.
You think George Washington just left like the war maps? Like, hey, I'm just gonna leave that over there. I'm gonna go for a walk.
You're comparing Shelton to George Washington?
I'm comparing that George Washington was a little better.
A little better than Shelton?
No, but the fact that, like you said, the fact that he got it stolen is that should be like in his pocket. It's probably not a huge map. It's not like a huge.
No, it was like a little card.
Yeah. Well, so why is that?
Does he even need a map considering he's been there for so long? I'm assuming they go to the same exact spots every single time.
That's true. Yeah. And also it seems like it's only a few acres.
Yeah.
Right.
That whole area is a few acres because everything just moves so fast because Andy gets there in no time.
And they are supposedly using paintball, but no goggles at all. So there's actually absolutely no protection if you get shot in the face.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's so true.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So they weren't even ready for that's so stupid.
I mean, if you've ever gone paintballing, it hurts.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I mean, your adrenaline goes, you don't feel it, but you get hit in the hand, like bare hand, it hurts.
Or the eye?
Or the eye.
You'll lose your eye.
No, but you have no eye. That's what I'm saying. They should be wearing goggles. These kids' parents are maybe these kids don't have parents. Maybe like warden of the state or like bad kids, and they're like, you can either go to juvie or you can go to this military camp.
Maybe these are the children of the parents that died from Chucky when he was. See, it's like a Freddy Krueger thing. That
would be like a Freddy Krueger thing. Yeah.
See.
So we kind of forgot to mention something earlier. Was Andy was like, okay, Tyler, you got to protect yourself. Take this knife because it comes up. So again, Tyler is with Chucky, and Tyler right away is like, Tyler, I can go seek.
Tyler went AWOL with some guy named Charles.
Yeah, I know.
What kind of
Andy be like,
is that?
Oh. Nothing though. Tyler stole this gift from Andy. Knowingly.
I know.
It was for Andy. He's supposed to deliver the package, and now he's keeping it for himself. So you know what? I felt bad for Tyler, but now I'm thinking, like, you know what? Screw him.
Yeah.
If he just delivered the package like he was supposed to, none of this would have happened.
Should have just listened. Should have just paid. No, that is true. Like, and just the fact that maybe it would have been better if like Chucky had this mesmerizing power. Like maybe when he looked at him, he was like drawn to the package, but he just saw that it was like something he wanted and took it.
Drawn to his package?
Oh boy.
He doesn't have a package. Well, maybe he does. I don't know.
And you think Chucky could have that kind of power because whatever he's doing, this like spell is it's basically voodoo.
He's able to move around. He's able to move around so fast, like he's got teleportation with Jason, and he knows voodoo. Now, is that voodoo from the first movie? The same, like So that's the same words.
How does he what?
How do you memorize all that? Like, how did I don't remember.
Books on tape. He has books on tape. He pops in.
He's got time.
Walkman.
He has a Rosetta Stone of voodoo.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then Tyler doesn't want to play hide the soul. He's like, you know what, man? I think you're taking advantage of me. Like,
he's tired of playing that game. Yeah.
And he bleeds, right? He bleeds.
Yeah, he does bleed.
Right.
He bleeds.
How does he bleed?
And not for nothing, he still has to be carried around.
Yeah.
Because Tyler's still carrying him around. Chucky has the gun. He's still carrying around the doll. How difficult? Like, just drop him. Put him down.
Maybe Chucky's tired and he's like, hey, kid, you take me for a look.
You think about it. He's got short legs and small feet, and he's covering a lot of distance. He's going to be tired.
Yeah, and how he might trip over little twigs.
He's got to climb over logs that have fallen.
Yeah. And then Chucky ambushes De Silva.
Yeah.
I was a little disappointed in that. I think she can cover herself a little bit.
Yeah.
She didn't seem to be trying. She had Chucky right there. She didn't try at all. She's been tough the whole movie, and she's just sitting there.
I did like when she was on the radio. This is like what I was talking about earlier, that she was like, just forget me. Save Tyler. And she was basically like, I'll let myself die to this doll.
Well, all this time they thought he was a traitor. They thought Barkley was a traitor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doubling for the Reds.
Yeah.
Doubling for the Reds. And this scene is amazing. When I don't know about amazing, but because again, the last time he saw Chucky, Shelton, he just like laid limp. But when he looks at him and actually moves, and like Shelton's face.
Yeah.
That's the reaction he should have had. Tyler should have had that.
Right.
It was like a mix in between Tyler's and Colonel Cochran heart attack. It was the perfect amount of reaction because he's like, holy shit.
That's the normal reaction.
That is the normal reaction. And Chucky had it all planned out because he got on a radio and pretended to be in the group and was like, hey, I think I found where the blue team's hiding. They're at so-and-so. And when they showed up, dude, that was a cool gunshot. That effect looked awesome.
No, it was.
Yeah.
But again, they knew right away they shot bullets. Why wouldn't they have? They kept shooting. They kept shooting right away.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
hold your fire. It took him like a minute. Hold your fire. And then Chucky,
the sound of bullets hitting whatever was out there, you're gonna hear it. Like I mean, they're not properly trained, considering it's probably only the second day.
It is second day. I love that Chucky, before this, he had the grenade already, and he had it pulled. He was holding a pulled grenade for a while, because remember when Shelton looked at him, he showed the grenade?
Yeah.
Where did he get the grenade from?
I guess when he was loading the bullets.
But
they didn't show
that. They
that.
just leave grenades laying around there?
Yes, in the room that Tyler can somehow sneak into.
I mean, this is military school. It's not like, this is not the army. So they're going to have grenades they're going to have a weapons warehouse with grenades and whatever else is going to be there.
It should be all mock stuff, like paintballs. They should have like
blanks, whatever. Yeah.
Something like that. Maybe something that looks like a grenade, feels like a grenade, but not a grenade.
That seems very dangerous, especially when you have 8-year-olds also in the military camp.
Absolutely.
That obviously he can get access to.
Yes. This is a cool hero moment for, especially, Whitehurst. Yeah. Very cool, man. He saved a lot of lives. And that is one thing I'll always remember, like in my horror watching history, is his body, the way he dives on the grenade that Chucky throws. And because at that point, they're trying to save Shelton, right? They're all around Shelton's body. So when he dives on it, you see his body just like,
yeah.
And his glasses are cracked.
I don't think he would. The guy was afraid of his shadow the entire movie.
That was his hero moment.
That was his time.
I understand that. I don't think he would have done that. I don't buy it.
What would you have done?
Ran.
Ran.
This is why I'm not in military school.
So then Tyler's just booking it right now. And Andy's like, where's Tyler? And this is the amusement park.
Mind you, he's booking it carrying Chucky.
Yeah.
Oh, he has Chucky. Oh, yeah.
He has Chucky. Chucky has a gun to him. Tyler has the knife. Tyler still has the knife towards Chucky. Chucky has the gun towards him, and he's carrying him into the amusement park.
Yeah.
I love that the sign that they went to in the tent, it was like lost and found, and I think it said and security.
Yeah.
It was security. The guy is carrying a gun, which is a massive gun.
It was huge.
I think the gun changes size. Like when he first grabs the gun in the beginning, like it didn't, and then when he's using it later on, it looked like a Clint Eastwood gun.
Yeah.
But again, this is a security guard.
Wait, is Chucky with him right now? Because I feel like
yes.
No, because I thought when he sat with when Tyler goes in there, he's by himself.
Then how did he?
That was earlier. That was earlier.
I can see it when he didn't get the gun yet. He gets the security guard's gun.
Yeah.
Okay, so Tyler. That's what Tyler goes in there, and then he's telling him, "Yeah, this guy's chasing me." And he goes, "Here, have a piece of gum."
No, he goes, I know your buddy Charles is probably being mean to you right now. Because thinking they're like just 8-year-olds being mad at each other, but not the fact that.
Right,
and then I wrote, how does Chucky with his tiny legs get there so fast? And this is cheap because we didn't even see how the guy died.
And he's not everywhere. Even heavy. He's not even tired. Chucky, when he gets there.
Well, he has no lungs.
Had this guy get a security guard job, the guy's telling him he's being chased by someone. And he offers him gum and says, he's probably not really he's not even listening to this kid.
Adults, man.
Again,
adults don't listen to kids in all of these movies.
Yeah.
And kids
they're
can't
the
be trusted.
real villain.
They are.
Yeah, we saw nothing.
This is an amusement park that's pretty packed, and it's late at night in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing.
And it's almost closing time.
Correct.
Yeah.
Like it's literally 5 minutes before closing.
And we find out later is probably the most dangerous amusement park I think I've ever seen.
I know.
You know, so yeah.
Oh my God. But the fact that we got really cheap kills in this movie. The heart attack was pretty cheap. Garbage man, cheap. And even the security guard, nothing, unless they edited it out, but it wasn't gruesome. He was just, right? Didn't
you saw a lot of aftermath.
Yeah, didn't you just see the blood in his?
Yes,
like he had a blood
you didn't
blot?
see the actual kill. You saw the security guard laying there.
So was he shot? They don't show it, but was that a bullet hole?
First, you see Andy's face and the girl's face slowly pan over to the dead body.
But wouldn't people have heard a gunshot?
Right.
Because the guy picks up Chucky, and then that's it.
Oh,
and then it cuts away.
Parks are pretty loud. I mean, there's a lot of bells and whistles going off. So
Chucky timed it.
He timed it.
He was looking at the bell game with the hammer. God, that'd be awesome if that really happened. But De Silva was smart enough to grab the gun.
Correct.
So she has the security guard's gun.
So that's still the same gun. So Chucky doesn't have a gun yet.
Chucky had the gun earlier.
He has a smaller gun.
Where'd he get the gun from?
Where he got the grenade from.
Right.
So I did like that the fact that when they went into a fun house. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. And we're back to hide and seek again while we're in the fun house.
Yes.
It's like we're playing hide and seek all throughout this entire movie.
I've been in a lot of fun houses. I've never seen a fun house like that. That was again a death trap. That entire fun house.
Well, whoever takes their kid to an amusement park next to a military school in the middle of nowhere. So this is where De Silva gets shot.
Yes.
She gets shot now. Yeah. So she gets shot in the hand, and I don't know. This whole ending of the movie is
so like, isn't there a safety feature on roller coasters if someone's walking on the tracks? Like there was like a few times, like no safety feature there. You got a fan that's completely violent that chops Chucky's face off.
Yeah.
Like
that scythe chops his face. Is that part where
it's part of the attraction?
So is that really that sharp?
Was this filmed at Action Park?
It could have been.
All right, with all the dangers of Action Park, I could see this being like an Action Park.
So it's like the cart goes on the track, and then the scythe's supposed to fall and miss you, but when it does hit Chucky, his face rips. So was that actually like metal and
not even
that
rips, it
sharp?
Slices it off.
Yeah.
How sharp is that thing? What if it malfunctions and it falls on one of the carts?
Yeah, and it doesn't need to be sharp to begin with.
Yeah,
it's just a scare tactic.
Wait, so was he bleeding from the face at this point?
Not really.
Oh no, there was blood underneath. Like it looked like blood and guts with metal. It looked like Terminator-ish.
It was very animatronic.
Yes.
Still.
But when he bleeds from the other parts, it's like gushing, but his face
like when
does
his
not hold
arm flies off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or his eyes.
And Chucky looked like Two-Face. It looked like
he did.
It's like Two-Face.
Yeah.
He did.
So then Chucky's again at this time, he's trying to still. I did like this part when he's trying to still do the take over Tyler, looking like that, and he's doing the chant, and Andy shoots him twice.
Tyler got knocked out very easy.
Oh
yeah.
Oh yeah.
You forgot about that. So he basically just falls. Like what hit him? It was
something in the bird's nest.
Yeah, something
that was hit his head.
Well, first of all, he jumped on one of those things that took him all the way to the top.
Yeah.
Oh,
he rode it.
Two creatures. Yeah.
And then, but like, I think one hit him in his head, and they got knocked out. I think people in this movie over dramatize, between the dart and now this. Like, come on, you're not gonna get knocked. I don't care how old you are, and he knocks him out because really he wakes up in 2 seconds the minute Andy talks to him.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, so this is like Jamie, you said, like this is like the most dangerous
it really
place ever.
Yeah.
Just the fact that he falls and Andy easily throws him, like you talked about earlier. All these other people can't throw him off.
Yeah.
Andy throws him off of him. Like, it's so simple.
Well, I mean, to Chucky's defense, he's got one arm, one leg, and half a face.
Now you're defending Chucky?
And he's missing a hand.
I'm just saying, listen, if he's gonna tough it out this whole movie and no one could do anything, at this point, he has half a face, one arm, and one leg. So,
And now, so he does bleed. Wouldn't he bleed out from having like limbs be ripped off? Do they need to throw him into this fan?
I don't know if he can bleed out. I just think he bleeds.
He just has blood.
He didn't have any blood. He didn't have any doll stuffing in him. There was no stuffing.
No.
Like, does he have like human parts inside? Like, it's just weird. Like, yeah, it is, because he had the metal face. He still had the metal face.
Yeah.
That didn't make sense with the rest of the body. What's going on?
Yeah, why would they make that doll with a metal face? Isn't that just waste of money?
Because even when they shot the arm off, you didn't see any metal.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
They didn't even they probably didn't even talk to any real doll manufacturers before they did this movie.
Well, you would think there's a third movie they would get it right this time, and they still had to make four others to finally get there.
5 more.
And the most recent was AI. It wasn't even like
yeah, that's true. They were like, we don't know dolls. We're gonna do it on a computer.
Mm-hmm.
And then so Chucky falls into the thing, slow-mo, chopped up, blood everywhere. Like insane amount of blood. So then the next thing we see, right? I think is this when the amusement park's turned off, right?
Yeah. All the lights
go off, and there's still people like walking around. They didn't like warn them like 5 minutes, park's closed, and nobody's running.
No one heard anything. No one heard yelling. No one heard gunshots going off. No one heard a thing. The bells and whistles.
Nope. The time. Oh yeah, maybe when he hit the fan.
Yeah.
You win a panda. But so then the thing I don't get, again, this goes to what I was mentioning before. So people, did they find the doll? They didn't even show cops like find a doll, right?
Well, there is no doll left.
He got chopped up. He got sliced and chopped up.
That's what I mean. But like, so the reason I asked that is like when you see the cops handling Andy, they're handling him like he is a murderer.
Yeah, he's being arrested.
Isn't that what they did in the first 2 movies? Same kind of thing. Like he's a problem.
Well, sort of like he has a problem in the foster homes in the second one, and then he finally finds like sort of his forever home, but it's not that long. But he finds people that really care about him. But yeah, he has that history. But it's almost like they said in the second one, like just accidents happen around him. So then how can he sue the doll manufacturer? I don't know.
Is he in any more movies, Andy?
No.
Oh, so they gave up.
I think the original kid actually comes back in the later ones.
Really?
I feel like he does come back.
But it's the same.
How does Chucky come back in the next movie?
Tilly.
The factory gets turned on by a ghost or something?
Doesn't Tilly put them back together?
Oh, yeah. Jennifer Tilly does.
That's why he's got.
Next one is with Jennifer Tilly?
Yeah. Bride of Chucky's the next one with John Ritter when John Ritter gets killed by all the nails in the.
Oh.
And it's like 8 years later.
Yeah. It's like 99-ish. Yeah. And then they pumped, you think they pumped 5 of them out and.
Yeah.
20. Oh, I guess that's not that bad.
And that's when he gets his look where he's all like dismembered because she like sews him back together.
So he's like a Frankenstein doll now.
Yeah.
So the last thing we see before this movie is over, and then we don't have to talk about it anymore, is they zoom in on a guy picking up trash, like and they zoomed in on him too much, and then it went to the credits, and I'm like, was that the director or the director's brother or somebody that, or producer, head of universe?
They probably forgot that the camera's still rolling. So that was just the night janitor,
Yeah. All right, so that was Child's Play 3. We'll go to our.
I was waiting for just one, like Freddy moment. Like, all right, this is the sequel's gonna be coming. So, or like, I wonder if they figured, all right, you know what, we didn't do a good job with this one. We're gonna end the series right now, and that's why it took 8 years for the next one. Like, I wonder, like, because there was no like gotcha moment. Like, all right, he's still alive somewhere. Like, there's nothing.
No, they should have done that. Like I mentioned in the beginning, should have been like a hand crawling, turning on the thing.
They felt like, all right, I think we rode this way as far as it can go. There's nothing else.
Yeah.
Little you show like more. Maybe the guy picking up trash. Like this is how this is kind of what we do at the end, like always. But this is like a perfect one that to make a movie better, he like sticks it into like a thing, picks up a doll head, and he's looking at it, and an eye opens. Boom.
Yeah.
Or pick up
Something
like
like
a hand, and all of a sudden it gives a
It's
finger.
like, yeah.
Oh, the finger?
Yeah. I'm glad you just showed what a finger looks like. Thank you. I wasn't sure if anyone would know.
It's so weird doing it because I don't think I've done that in years.
So this is the first time you did it in years.
Been a long time.
It felt good.
You just broke that streak.
7 years down the drain. So let's go to our guest first. So Tom, obviously there's a lot that we could change, but so we kind of mentioned a lot of it going on, but would you recommend someone to watch Child's Play 3?
Unless you're really involved into the Chucky story, I don't think there's any really reason to watch it. Even if you like the later movies with Tilly, I think they tell you in the beginning of that movie what happened to him. So it's really not necessary. I don't think we see Andy anymore. It's just not worth your time.
Yeah.
It was what? Almost 2 hours, right?
It's like an hour and 37 minutes, I think.
Okay.
And
But I wasn't keeping track.
I wasn't really checking my watch or anything as I was watching it.
Just, not worth the time.
All right, Jamie.
Absolutely not. I mean, again,
Well, you said it's better than Munchie, so that
no,
I mean,
I said
Munchie's better
than this.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. Like I said, after I watched the movie, which was hard to get through, and maybe I was watching it too late at night, but I did go on websites to see the ranking of all the Chuckies. This was last on most of the lists.
wow.
On all number 3. So obviously, most people agree that this movie stinks. Again, I'm not a Chucky fan. I've seen 2 of the other movies. I have a feeling they're all the same thing. I mean, like it's like one of those. I just no. Even if you're a fan of the Chuckies, I wouldn't even watch it. This is like one that you should just forget about. Like I think it was Friday the 13th 5, right? Which is the one that has the ambulance driver.
5, yeah.
Right. So you can forget about that one. Like
It's funny when you look on the rankings. So this is what I'm going to say is like, it's funny. Like this one's the worst.
Yep.
But it's not even like watchable. Like the reason I mentioned that is like Jason Takes Manhattan on a lot of lists. It's like towards the end, like with Jason X.
Yep.
I'm like, I love watching because there's like something about those movies. The formula works. Just this formula. I don't know. I'm not saying don't watch this movie or to watch it. It's just that it has nothing to do with, I don't know. There's just no point to it.
Well, I think, I think the difference with Jason, again, he's sort of a human. So I think that makes it more like this is a doll. And again, you have to get past the fact that it's a doll that, doesn't have special strength, doesn't have anything, just creative wit, when he speaks. So it's hard to see that you have multiple movies like this. I can't get into it. It's just so stupid. Like I really can't.
I read also the writing for it was very rushed. They wanted to put this movie like the movie came out less than a year after.
I read that too.
Child's Play 2.
Like 9 months after 2 came out, they pumped this one out.
They said they rushed the writer to do it. I think his name was Mancini.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, he's the guy that did the original ones.
Yeah, he had like no ideas of what to do and just kind of like scrapped this together.
That's shocking.
He's a big time special effects guy, man.
Yeah,
he did Friday the 13th.
But it looks like it was a rushed. Again, you said the kills are cheap. Again, the fact that you see one little arm grab the remote, come back like that alone just tells you it was rushed.
All right, Tom, thank you. That was Child's Play 3. And next week, wow, we have a good one. I've never seen this movie. Jamie, did you ever see Amityville II Possession?
I never saw the first one.
Oh, okay. So this will be fun. And our horror expert, Tom's there. He's almost there, but Chris Egan is going to be back for his 4th time. And he's excited for this movie. I think he watched all of them in preparation. So
listen, to me, after watching this movie, it can only go up.
It can only go up.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
And the person we interviewed for this, man, Jamie delivered, man, Diane Franklin. Oh my God, dude, Better Off Dead, Last American Virgin, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. She's so amazing. Such a blast to talk to. Amazing story about how she started it. She's local. She's Long Island, so tri-state area. So you're going to love that. So don't forget to review, rate, share our podcast. Follow us on all social media at Sequels Only. And don't forget to check out our website, sequelsonly.com. Good night.